Welcome back to our UEFA Champions League highlights as we move on to the task ahead of Chelsea in Group E. The Blues have managed to plug those leaks at the back with successive stalemates against Sevilla and Manchester United. Could they turn on the goal-scoring taps once more against Krasnodar? Antonio Rudiger back in from the cold to replace the rested Thiago Silva at the centre of defence. Further forward, a first start for Hakim Ziyech and a rare chance for Callum Hudson-Odoi to impress Frank Lampard from the off. Krasnodar suffered a 3-1 home defeat to Spartak Moscow in the Russian league at the weekend and have been hugely depleted by injuries. Their goalkeeper, Matvey Sofanov, apparently one of the hottest prospects around. Commentary from Glenn Hoddle and Peter Drury.
Very happy. 4 goals, no goals against. It was a difficult match. I think in the first half we were the better team. We missed a penalty, but we get our goal. And in the second half we had to take some pressure in the early stages for 15 minutes. But I like lots of things about the way we play. We still want to get better.
Yeah, it was a great game for us. I think that we started off well. We worked really hard from the start. And I think today we deserved our goals with the way we played. There was a bit of times where we was lackadaisical, a bit slow at times, but after that we grew more into the game and then we took our chance as well.
We've been scoring a lot of goals this season, but we were conceding too many. We've addressed that recently. We're not conceding. And today we scored 4 more. So the balance of the team, which is what we're looking for, is getting better. And that was always going to take some time. So again, I saw some good things, but we must keep our feet on the ground and keep working.
Yeah, obviously I'll take any goal that comes my way. As I said, it was a shot that the keeper misparried and went in, which I'm happy with. But every day a goal's a goal, so you keep improving, trying to get more assists and keep up in the team.
It was amazing, and I want to thank all the fans here for the game. Lots of Chelsea fans. Nice to see the Russian fans. The country's always very welcoming to us, but the atmosphere for the players is great. It felt very different for us. We've played a long time with no fans, and in our country at the moment it's a necessity, but we cannot wait for the fans to come back more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, amen to that, for sure. Listen, obviously, the balance is right if you score 4 and none against. But let's talk first about the 2 penalty incidents, because neither of them, when we watched them, were obvious at first hand. The second one maybe particularly.
Yeah, the first one is quite tricky, isn't it? You don't see too much of a touch. Then again, there's nobody really complains about the decision. He goes down there, Werner. He's holding his leg, as you would. And I think there's certainly a touch there. It doesn't really need to come in. You can see there's quite clearly a touch. Is it enough to knock him off his feet? Probably not, but that's beside the point. This is a disgrace. I mean, how the...
Yeah.
That's not a cat in hell's chance that should be a penalty. It
off his
flicks
leg.
Off the thigh. Yeah. He's a metre away as the ball comes really quickly. I mean, it's just... I don't even think if they read the rules, the UEFA rules, that they would say that's a penalty. I think it's just the referee's just given a penalty. He's seen the ball hit his arm. And, bear in mind, referees have got a split second to make a judgment.
But that's why we have VAR.
Well, yeah, but once you go and blow the whistle and give a penalty, then to go and have a look at, at the screen yourself and almost change your own decision, you probably then stubbornly stick with it.
Yeah.
If he sees that penalty again, he must be thinking, oh, I shouldn't have given that.
Well, and interesting, Peter Walton said that probably wouldn't be given in the Premier League because we're not as hot on that kind of situation as UEFA are. They tend to give those. I mean, not that we're defending the Premier Leagues.
Matt, it's never getting given in the Premier League, and really, it shouldn't be getting given in the Europa League or the Champions League either. So, I mean, if that happened in a huge game, a knockout stage or something like that, there will be murders to play. So I think it's just a bad decision, full stop. OK. Now, what about the decisions for Jorginho and then Werner to both miss and score from the spot? What about these techniques? Yeah, well, I've got no problem with the technique. I mean, he jogs up and does that jump, doesn't he? Because he's making it almost a slow run up. And he's only doing that so he can watch the goalkeeper. Now, when you're watching the goalkeeper, there's been plenty of players done it over the years. That's more of a strike, picking your spot and hitting it hard. But there's been lots of players that watch the goalkeepers over the years, like to Cantona, for example. Dwight York used to do it a lot. And it takes a lot of courage to do it, to actually go up to the ball. And I used to do it in training, but I didn't have the courage to do it in a game, I must admit. And in training, I couldn't miss. It's the best way to take a penalty. If you've got the courage to actually watch the goalkeeper, but the problem is, you still don't know where it's going that far from hitting the ball. So you're watching the goalkeeper, and you're wanting him to move. And of course, he did. He did all the hard stuff right. The goalkeeper dives out the way. But then if you're going to do that, you don't need to be precise. Just knock it,
a foot inside the post.
A foot inside, at most. So I still rate him as a penalty taker. He scored 3 out of 5 this, or 3 out of his last 5. So he's missed a couple. Prior to that, he never missed a thing. I'd still back him if I was Frank Lampard, but I'm not sure he will, because Werner's just taken one. He's the new kid on town, and he might start taking them.
He's the striker, he'll want the goals, obviously, yeah. Obviously, icing on the cake was the goals for Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi. They're important in the sense of the squad all getting minutes and goals.
They definitely are, because they've gone from scoring loads of goals to getting criticised about not scoring, so then they've tightened things up, and they didn't score for a couple of games. So nice to share them round. Of course, you really want your main scorer, i.e. Werner, scoring most of them, but it's lovely when everyone starts chipping in and scoring goals.
See why they rate the goalie so highly, can't you?
Yeah, you said you rated him.
It wasn't me personally. Or at least if I did, I don't anymore. The other game in Group E saw Sevilla play host to Rennes, with both sides sitting on a point apiece after match day 1. And Tom Skippings was watching this one for us.
Came from a penalty, and Joe, it was from one of those annoying handballs that if it goes against you, you'd be furious.
Oh, you'd be furious if it goes against you. You know, the rules are still a bit unclear. And they had a look at VAR. I mean, how can he get his hand out of the way there? It's a great strike. I mean, at this point, Krasnodar were really, their backs were against it. They were defending, but this is a fantastic penalty from Werner. I mean, he's hit that with some venom. JJ was saying he thinks it could have been in the corner. It could have done, but it's such a clean strike. You know, he's gone past the goalie before he even moves, and you know, he's another option on the penalty spot there, Werner, for Chelsea.
Do you prefer that technique to the hop, skip, jump?
I like any technique that goes in when it's Chelsea involved.
Well, that one certainly went in. He didn't mess about with that one. And then Ziyech got his first goal for them, Jermaine, on his first start. Yeah. What did you think of his overall night?
You know what, I think he had some really good moments in there, Ziyech. I think in particular in the first half, he was getting better as the half went on. And I mentioned the fact that, you know, fitness for him is of most importance right now. He is a player that relies a lot on his sharpness, and, you know, you can see there the quick feet in those tight areas. He's going to be a good player for Chelsea, and he, you know, he's a man that thoroughly enjoyed that third goal going in for Chelsea.
Certainly did. I'm sure you enjoyed Pulisic as well. He made an impact from the moment he came on, Joe, didn't he?
I mean, this lad's a real talent. I mean, it was a big miss at the start of the season not having him. I think Tammy does well here. You know, he's hungry, Tammy. He wants to affect the game, so he gets into this position here, gets a bit of fortune, he picks him out, and then lovely touch, gets it at target. The goalkeeper again, you got to question him there, but I would argue he's one of the most important players in Chelsea's attacking third, because he can do everything. Pulisic, he can dribble, he can run without the ball, he gets in and scores goals. And the Frank would be delighted. Like I said, he couldn't have wrote the script better, Frank. All of the front boys scoring, everyone involved, another clean sheet, and it's just an impressive evening for the club.
How happy will he be without Silva being there to get that clean sheet tonight?
Yeah, look, they rode the luck at times. You know, it wasn't the most perfect performance. Frank will be able to kind of pick the bones out of those moments. They were in control, but just a few kind of scrappy moments, giving the ball away in areas they didn't need to. But another clean sheet, and it's actually something you can build on with confidence as a manager and as a group of players as well. So he'll definitely be delighted with that.
Certainly can. Well, if you want to hear